Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Karen York, Executive Director of Communications for Richland One. Welcome to the announcement of the 2024 Richland One Hall of Fame induction class. And I'll note that this is an extra special year because it marks the 20th anniversary of the Richland One Hall of Fame. Let's give that a round of applause. The Richland One Hall of Fame recognizes graduates of Richland One schools and other persons throughout the district's history who have made significant contributions to Richland One, their professions, their communities, and society as a whole. 96 men and women have been inducted since the Hall of Fame was established in 2004. Induction into the Hall of Fame is the highest honor awarded by the Richland One Board of School Commissioners. At this time, I'd like to recognize our board members who are present. Dr. Aaron Bishop, Chairman, would you stand or give us a wave? Mr. Jamie Devine, Parliamentarian. And Mrs. Cheryl Harris. I'd also like to recognize our superintendent, Dr. Craig Witherspoon, and members of the superintendent's cabinet. We are also very honored to have with us a member of the Hall of Fame, Ms. Regina Brown. I'd also like to recognize Richland County Councilwoman Gretchen Barron and any other elected officials who are with us. Thank you. And now I am honored and excited to announce the members of the 2024 Richland One Hall of Fame induction class. And I know it's going to be tough, but I'll ask that you hold your applause until all of the honorees have been announced. Robert T. Bockman is a native of Atlanta, Georgia, who moved to Columbia in 1975. Mr. Bockman's distinguished legal career has included practicing for 29 years with the McNair Law Firm. He became a full-time member of the University of South Carolina School of Law faculty in 2011. He still teaches one course at the law school and volunteers as an advisor to law students on the issues of integrity and character. A strong proponent of public education and the father of 3 Richland One graduates, Mr. Bockman has served on several district-wide task forces and committees since the early 1990s, including the Year-Round Education Task Force and the C-Average Task Force. Mr. Bockman was a member of the committee that was appointed by the Board of School Commissioners in 2004 to establish the criteria and selection process for the Richland One Hall of Fame and receive and evaluate the first nomination submitted and present a recommendation to the board. He served as chairman of the selection committee until he was named to the newly created Hall of Fame Advisory Board in 2017. He continues to serve as an advisory board member. Through his participation in the selection process since the Hall of Fame was established 20 years ago, Mr. Bockman has been an eloquent spokesman and leading advocate for the Richland One Hall of Fame, particularly for its intrinsic value in inspiring students attending Richland One schools today and generations to come. Dr. Percy A. Mack, Jr. is a native of Savannah, Georgia. He served as Richland One superintendent from 2008 to 2014. During his tenure in Richland One, Dr. Mack successfully led efforts to increase student achievement and growth, deliver balanced budgets aligned with the district's strategic plan, and established strategic relationships and partnerships, including with higher education institutions and the faith community. Programs and initiatives launched under Dr. Mack's leadership include the C.A. Johnson High School Health Sciences Magnet, the Navistar Diesel Technology Program at Hayward Career and Technology Center, the Padilla Model School at Meadowfield Elementary School, and the annual Principal for a Day Community Engagement Initiative. Dr. Mack also guided Richland One through the extensive review process, which resulted in the district's first district-wide accreditation from Advanced Ed. His numerous honors and awards include being named Superintendent of the Year by the National Association of Black School Educators while he was superintendent of the Dayton, Ohio Public Schools. He also was named the South Carolina School Improvement Advocate of the Year. Dr. Mack's support for Richland One continues. Every year, he awards a $1,000 scholarship to a Richland One high school senior. The Dr. Percy A. Mack Leadership Scholarship recognizes students who demonstrate leadership skills and potential, as well as well-rounded involvement in co-curricular activities. Bernice G. Scott is a 1962 graduate of Weber High School. Mrs. Scott served as a member of Richland County Council for 20 years. As a council member, Mrs. Scott advocated for all schools within Richland County, but especially the schools in the lower Richland area of Richland One. She has helped to enhance the quality of education and establish, protect, and grow the educational opportunities that Richland County children have received, particularly during her tenure on County Council. Ms. Scott has dedicated her life and her career to public service and helping people. Along with her service on Richland County Council, she has worked for the county in several capacities, including as assistant to the court administrator, ombudsman, records clerk in the treasurer's office, tax collector, and assistant to the clerk of council. She has served on numerous boards and committees and chaired the board of directors for the Richland Community Healthcare Association. Ms. Scott has worked tirelessly on critical issues in the rural areas of Richland County, including healthcare, sewer service, fire protection, and economic development. In 2023, President Joe Biden appointed Ms. Scott to serve on the Presidential Advisory Commission on Advancing Educational Equity, Excellence, and Opportunity for Black Americans. The commission provides advice to the President through the Secretary of Education on matters pertaining to educational equity and economic opportunity for the Black community. Senator John L. Scott, Jr. was a 1971 graduate of C.A. Johnson High School. Senator Scott's service to South Carolina spans for 32 years. Prior to being elected to the South Carolina General Assembly, he served on Richland County Council as vice chairman for 2 years. In 1990, he was elected to the House of Representatives and served for 18 years before being elected as state senator in 2008. As a senator, he was a member of the Senate Finance Committee, the Labor and Commerce Industry Committee, the Rules and the Medical Affairs Committee. While serving in the House of Representatives, he championed legislation for the new voting system, the state-run lottery, and the early voting process. He participated in the district's reapportionment process during his tenure in the House and the Senate. After joining the Senate, he successfully worked to pass a bill to rebuild and repair the state's crumbling roads and bridges to make them safer for all South Carolinians. Being a strong proponent for education, Senator Scott led the fight in securing funding for deteriorating buildings for K-12 education and worked to secure millions of dollars in funding for historically Black colleges and universities. His numerous honors, awards, and distinctions include the Order of the Palmetto, South Carolina's highest civilian honor. In 2022, he was enshrined on the C.A. Johnson High School Wall of Fame. Senator Scott passed away on August 13th, 2023. Martha Scott Smith is a 1967 graduate of C.A. Johnson High School. Mrs. Smith exemplified her love for teaching during her years teaching social studies and science at Olympia Middle School in Richland One. During her tenure, she also played a key role in establishing the district's Gifted and Talented program. The mother of 2 Richland One graduates, she and other band parents at W.J. Kenyon High School were instrumental in starting the school's Band Booster Club to provide financial support to the band. Mrs. Smith carried her passion for youth into and throughout her corporate career with AT&T. She was instrumental in directing scholarship and sponsorship dollars to Richland One. One of her legacies is helping to create and direct AT&T's African American History Calendar project, which was the first of its kind in the country. The South Carolina Department of Education now hosts the calendar. Mrs. Smith's extensive community service and civic involvement includes serving on several boards. She was the first African American female chair of the American Red Cross Board, the South Carolina State Museum Board, the Midlands Technical College Foundation, and the Columbia Metropolitan Convention Center. She currently chairs the Columbia MUSC Board. Her numerous honors and awards include being a member of the South Carolina Black Hall of Fame. She was also the first African American woman to receive the Humanitarian of the Year Award from the United Way of the Midlands. Please give our 2024 induction class members a big round of applause. So if they would like to do so, we want to give our induction class members an opportunity to make some brief remarks. So don't give us your acceptance speech you're going to give us in April. So we want everybody to attend and hear those remarks. But we will give you an opportunity to come forward if you like, starting with Mr. Bockman.
This is a unique experience for me, but I will take about 2 minutes to express my appreciation. Chairman Bishop, members of the board, Dr. Witherspoon, and your members of your cabinet and staff, friends of Richland One, and especially my fellow inductees. I know about the honor that, thanks to the generosity of this board, I am allowed to share with you. For 20 years, I have seen the nominations and the recommendations of so many fine people, people who have used their connections to Richland One to pay back the district, to serve their communities, to serve their societies in ways that the 4 of you have done. And I am proud to be a part and a member of this class of the Hall of Fame and share that honor with you. My connection with Richland One is not professional. I was never employed by the district and taught as a member of the district. It's been personal. My connection started, with our 3 children that I followed day by day by day in their schools, all of whom went to schools from preschool through high school as members of Richland One. And now, thanks to my son-in-law and my wife, and my daughter, excuse me, I have 4 grandchildren who are students in Richland One schools. But I've tried to be ready, willing, and able to serve our students' teachers, to serve this district, and to serve the board in any capacity that I had the opportunity to do. I'm not a graduate of Richland One. I didn't come to Columbia until I was well along in my years. But I've learned so much, and to be able to value, Richland One, the school district, and what it means. So I'm pleased to be a part of this class, honored beyond words to be able to be a member of this Hall of Fame. And I just one personal note that my wife would have been here today, except that she is indisposed with what we think is appendicitis. So, but we'll know this afternoon, and I think she'll be fine. But she expresses her regrets for not being here. But my son-in-law, Stephen Fastenau, is representing the family here today, and I thank you so much.
I'm going to try to finish before the music starts. Karen would always say, when the music starts playing now, you got to sit down. So, but I'll try to finish before it starts. But I just want to take this opportunity, board members, Superintendent Witherspoon, and all those assembled here today. This is quite an honor. This is something that you just work and, sometimes these things happen and sometimes they don't, but you work for the betterment of young people. And I just want to take a minute to thank Dr. Tracy Cooper for nominating me for this honor, and I truly consider it an honor, and take a minute to thank the board who hired me here to Columbia. Wendy Brawley, the late Vince Ford, Rob Tyson, Dwayne Smiling, Jasper Salmon, Jeanette McBride, and the historian, King B.L. Jeffcoat, who taught me the history of Richland School District 1 because he started out as an elementary student here, and he wanted me to know the district that I was working in. I want to take this opportunity to thank my family. My wife Carolyn is here. My brother and sister-in-law are here from Charleston. My daughter, who is here working, Jaquise Henry, and her husband, Leon. And it just so happens she was here working. She's one of the HR persons over the Veterans Hospital here and in several other states. So when I heard she was here, I said, I'll ask her to come. And also to my student. When I started out teaching in Savannah, Georgia, Chris Hagray. Chris, stand up for a minute. So, Chris was one of the first inductees into the National Honor Society. He was a football and basketball player. He had his best game in our state championship game. And he was signed by South Carolina State University and works at St. Andrews Middle School here in Richland School District 1. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank all of the individuals who worked in this school district while I was superintendent, because I would not be standing here today if it were not for those individuals. So thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I have sinus infection. Don't jump if I sneeze. It's not COVID. I had been tested. I thank y'all so much, and Dr. Witherspoon and the board, y'all doing such an awesome job at District 1. An awesome job. And I really When I got on county council, looking back, can't remember so far back, they were treating the districts different. And so I took a few of them in the back and we talked. And we came out and we had a unanimous decision that we were going to fund District 1 the same way we fund the rest of the district. You know, everything we do now, we have to fight for it. It seems like people just ain't people anymore. You know, people just don't understand. But if you understand what we have to do to help our next generation and the next generation and next generation, y'all got it. Y'all, and we supposed to be here to support y'all. I want to thank my family, my daughter, Valerie, and my son. I only have two. And Addison, my great-grandbaby. That's my great-granddad, y'all. And she will be coming to District 1. And, of course, my grandson, Emil. And without the wrecking crew, I would not be anything. Because we're working hard, still working hard in the community to make it better. Through schools, through housing, anything. Like Stuart Mungo told me one time, so you will ask me for anything for someone else. And you know, when you do right by God, people, God always do right by you. And I don't care what come, if we stick together and do what's right by God, people, He's going to take care of all of us. So I am, and Nicole, my assistant, who don't get paid, but she and Kendra and those keep me on target what I need to do. But I just want to thank this board for this honor of being a nominee for this nice. I thought one time the Hall of Fame they would put you on the wall, so I had to lose some weight so when y'all stick me, I wouldn't fall down. So that's thought for the day. And Joyce, we're so glad to see you. Y'all, come on, laugh it out.
Before she comes up, I definitely want to introduce Mrs. Jones Scott. Would you like to give remarks, please? Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. It is an honor for me to have the opportunity to stand before you as you recognize Senator Scott as one of the inductees into the Richland School District 1 Hall of Fame. Thank you, Dr. Coe, for nominating Senator Scott. Thank you, Chairman Bishop, Richland One School Board Commissioners, Superintendent Craig Witherspoon, family, and friends. Senator Scott's foundation was built in Richland One School District, and his love for education was his focus. His devotion and commitment to our HBCUs and his vision for South Carolina Education Lottery, that's Richland One, the loving, supportive, caring teachers that instilled in him to inspire, to aspire, and change the world. He learned to put cars together in Mr. Hubert Williams' shop class, which gave him his passion for building antique cars. His high school senior yearbook has a certificate of merit that was awarded to him for band. A handwritten note reads, "Keep the good work up. Maybe one day you will become famous like Soul Brother #1, James Brown." Well, the Lord had other plans for John Scott. John decided not to choose the entertainment world, but the political world. The loving, supportive, caring teachers was his foundation. The teachers knew, as Nelson Mandela stated, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Focusing on education, knowing our children are our future. Thank you again for this esteemed recognition, but more than that, thank you for remembering one man, his humility, his hard work, and his devoted heart, which he committed throughout his life to hopefully make a difference in the life of so many. I know he is smiling down on us today. Thank you for the honor. To God be the glory.
So good morning. I first want to thank you on behalf of the Scott family because I had no idea Bernice Scott, Joan Scott and Martha Scott Smith would all be honored. So although we are not officially biological relatives, we are because we share a lot of the same things about our children, about our families, about this community. So first of all, I would be remiss if I did not thank God. And I thank him not only for where I am today, but for the wonderful parents he gave me. Our parents were not educated folks. They were blue-collar workers. But the most important thing for them was that I received an education and that my brother received an education. And so I also would be remiss, I know that Karen has outlined a lot of things that I do in the community, but I also took time to marry a guy named Murray Smith, who's sitting over there, and he is also a retired administrator. So Murray, thank you for being here. I want to thank JR and Tanya Green. I'm not sure they're here, but I think most of you know that JR is the principal, the superintendent of Fairfield County, and certainly Superintendent Weatherspoon and my friends and colleagues that I've known for years on the school board. So I'm not going to take a lot of time. The one thing I want to share with you this morning is about our children and about each of you. I was standing here thinking, I looked around this room and I thought, you know what? There are principals here, there are lawyers here, there are teachers here, there are just a myriad of different professions. But you know what? None of us, and I truly mean none of us would be here if a teacher had not taken the time to sit down with us and teach us to read. And it was more than that. They taught us life skills. And there is, I think all of you have seen this recently, broken crayons still color. Our children are broken. And we all collectively have got to come together. I've been very fortunate to be on a lot of boards. I've been the first on many. But the most important thing for me was for me to teach school. And when I finished Carolina, it was nothing Martha Smith didn't want to do but teach school. And today, when I see some of those students that I taught, and I'm going to use his name, Warren Bolden. I think many of you know Warren. Warren worked faithfully after school with the janitors. And Warren would be so disappointed. And I would get on Warren. Warren, listen, let me tell you something. You are not going to always do this. You have got to stick to it. You've got to study. And then, Warren, you've got to bring others along with you. So, last of all, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for this honor. I've received many honors, but you cannot believe how much this honor means to me. Because, once again, I would not be here for it not for a teacher that saw something in little Martha Ann Scott that encouraged me to keep pushing on, to learn everything I could. Once I connected with people, to also bring them along. So I want to challenge each of you today to embrace our children. They need us. We need them. You know, we need them. We can learn so much from them. So I think in closing, I would just say, once again, thank you so much. We have much work to do. I think most of you know I retired. I decided orange is one of my favorite colors, but you know what? Staying home with my lovely husband every day, I did not want to go to jail, so one of us needed to work. Once again, thank you all so much. I think collectively in this room, we have much to do, and collectively we can do it. So thank you so much.
Another round of applause for all of our induction class members. The Richland One Hall of Fame Induction Gala will be held Saturday, April 13th at the Columbia Metropolitan Convention Center. So we ask that you please save that date and make plans to attend. Additional details about the gala, including sponsorship opportunities and ticket information, will be announced very soon. So at this time, we're going to ask our board chairman, Dr. Aaron Bishop, to come forward to give brief remarks on behalf of the board, and he will be followed by our superintendent, Dr. Craig Witherspoon. Dr. Bishop.
Well, good morning. We greet you on behalf of the Richland One School Board of Commissioners. It's been recognized earlier. My colleagues are here, and those who are not here, we welcome you and say thank you. To our honorees, we honor you. We are so blessed to be able to recognize some of our best, and you are definitely worthy of this honor. I want to talk about maybe three things, because a good preacher got 3 points every time he preaches. But this is about flowers. This is about the opportunity to give you your flowers and give you your opportunity to be thanked. And so every time we have an opportunity to speak, we quote leader Vince Ford, who said the two greatest words you can put together is thank you. And so thank you. Thank you for what you do. But the reason why this is so important to Richland One is the first thing is personal. We are Richland One. One team, team one. We are Richland One, and this is personal to us. So that's why we appreciate doing this annually. The second thing is, it's proper. There's a quote, Dr. Mack, that says, it's a poor frog that doesn't praise his own pond, which means it's all about you celebrating and thanking the success that you stand on, which is the giants, the foundation, the teachers. At Keenan High School, there was a sign that was about 2 feet off the ground, and it said, if you can read this, thank a teacher. And so today, it's appropriate, it's proper to thank those who help us get here. And you're part of that foundation. And then last, it's powerful. Today we have 101 reasons why Richland One is Richland One strong. But more than that, it's 101 reasons why we should always fight to protect public education. It's not a secret. You know, Richland One and public education is always under attack. But we had a reason to fight, because there are children who will come by one day and sit in those same seats you're sitting in today. So thank you for giving us the powerful reason to make sure that this night of elegance, this night of celebration, this night where we get dressed up and put on our best, that at this gala, we're going to do a powerful thing that's appropriate and is proper. But most of all, it's personal. Let's make sure that we continue to be Richland One. Let's continue to make sure that we celebrate public education. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Bishop, and good morning, everyone. Good morning. As Karen opened the program, she threw out some numbers. This is 2024, the year. We started this in 2004, 20 years. Bishop, I wrote down 96, but I see how you got the 101 with the class today. 5 inductees. All leads us to that one, Richland One. And I too want to thank each and every one of you again for being on this journey of this district, of this community that adds to what it is we leave for our young people. And we all know this in this room. Our young folks, they watch us. They learn from us. And what we do matters, and who we bring together matters. And each year that we do this, and we got teachers in here, you get a feel for the class, if you will. Right? This is a good class. This is rambunctious class. And what I felt today was a quiet passion about what these individuals have done for this community. A heart. And if you take note, each and every one of them talked about students and young people. Leaving a class, leaving a community better than it was for that next generation. And I too say thank you in behalf of the young folks that we serve. Because this gives us our why. And we talk about that a lot in this district. Why is it we do what we do? Why is it, Bernice, that we keep fighting? Why is it we dust ourselves off and join hands, Martha, and keep on? Why do we do it? And this gives us hope. This gives us, we see this on both ends. When we do anywhere from our pre-K promotion ceremonies to graduation to this event, that gives us our why. So again, I too want to say thank you to each and every one of you. And not just to you, your families. You're a part of Richland One. Your whole family, Murray, is a part of Richland One. So again, to each and every one of you, thank you for your service. Thank you for your commitment, your passion, your drive that supported this district for years and years and years. And we look forward to bringing our next generations on to follow in your footsteps. So congratulations, thank you, and we look forward to honoring you in grand fashion in April. Thank you and congratulations to each and every one of you.
Again, thank you all for being here this morning. And as Dr. Witherspoon just said, we do look forward to seeing all of you and many more in April at the Convention Center. And as I mentioned, you'll be hearing much more about that in the coming days. Again, thank you and have a great day.